The helicopter blades sliced through the thick jungle air as it descended toward a narrow clearing nestled deep within the Korrama Rainforest. Below, an unbroken expanse of green stretched as far as the eye could see, untouched by modern civilization, unknown to maps. Ethan Rourke, an archaeologist with a sharp eye and a sharper reputation, peered down from the chopper's window, excitement and tension coiled tightly in his chest. For years, rumors of a forgotten temple buried in the heart of the Korrama had fascinated scholars. Most dismissed the idea as a myth, but Ethan had found the clues others missed: a hidden pattern in ancient tribal carvings, a weathered map fragment sold at a black market auction, and a series of satellite images showing an unnatural shape amid the trees. Something was there, and he was going to find it. The chopper touched down, the jungle immediately swallowing the sound. With him were three others: Dr. Lila Marin, a linguistic expert; Kyle, a rugged survivalist; and Robbie, a local guide with a reputation for finding things that didn't want to be found. Together, they stood at the edge of mystery. They set up base just outside the clearing. The first 2 days were grueling. The terrain was brutal, with thick vines, venomous insects, and sudden rainfalls making every step a challenge. Robbie guided them using instincts more than instruments. They followed river paths and animal trails, cutting deeper into territory long abandoned by even the boldest explorers. Then, on the third day, they found it. Hidden behind a curtain of moss and woven branches was a stone staircase leading downward. It was unnatural, perfectly symmetrical, carved with symbols unlike any Ethan had ever seen. The air around it was cold, almost damp with silence. Not the quiet of nature, but the kind that pressed against your skin. "This is it," Ethan whispered. "The forgotten temple." They descended slowly, lanterns in hand. The steps led to a massive stone door sealed shut by vines that seemed to grow from the cracks themselves. Lila stepped forward, brushing off the carvings. Her fingers trembled as she translated aloud. "Those who disturb the sleep of stone shall awaken the wrath of what was once forgotten." Kyle chuckled nervously. "Great! A death threat!" Ethan, undeterred, pressed a hand against the center of the door. As if recognizing him, the vines receded, slithering back like snakes. The door creaked open. Inside, the air was stale and still. Dust hung like fog. The temple was massive, with towering columns and walls lined with gold-inlaid murals. Scenes of rituals, glowing eyes, and celestial alignments painted the story of a civilization long lost. Lila took photos feverishly. Ravi muttered under his breath, offering small prayers. They moved carefully, mapping the chambers. In the central atrium stood an altar surrounded by 4 stone statues, each depicting a god with hollow eyes and mouths open in silent screams. Atop the altar sat a black gemstone, smooth and cold, pulsing faintly. Ethan reached out. Ravi shouted, "Don't touch that!" But it was too late. The moment Ethan's fingers closed around the stone, the torches flickered. A deep rumble echoed through the walls. A sudden chill swept the room. The statue's eyes began to glow red. One by one, they turned to face the group. "What did you do?" Lila gasped, stepping back. The exit slammed shut with a thunderous boom. Kyle raised his flashlight. "Guys, I think we just woke something up." From the darkness, whispers began. Faint at first, then louder. Hundreds of voices speaking in unison, ancient and angry. The walls pulsed with light. Shadows moved independently of any source. And then a figure appeared, not made of flesh, but of ash and smoke, its eyes burning with hatred, its limbs fluid like wind. "You dare disturb the sanctuary of the ancients?" It hissed, its voice echoing through every corner. "We mean no harm," Ethan said, holding up the gem. "We're here to understand. You seek knowledge without permission. The penalty is pain." The shadows surged forward. Ethan shouted for everyone to run. They scattered through the temple, chased by howls and flickering shapes. Ravi grabbed Lila's hand, dragging her into a narrow passage while Ethan and Kyle dashed down another corridor. The temple had changed. It was alive now, walls shifting, doorways disappearing, halls stretching unnaturally long. Ethan's mind reeled as he ran. the whispers growing louder, like insects inside his skull. He could hear Kyle shouting behind him, then suddenly silence. When he turned, Kyle was gone. Ethan called his name, but only the echoes answered. Meanwhile, Ravi and Lila found themselves in a chamber filled with mirrors, each one reflecting not just their image, but twisted versions of themselves screaming silently. Lila clutched her pendant, reciting ancient blessings. The reflections hissed and cracked. "We have to get back to the altar," Ravi said. "We have to return the gem." Back with Ethan, the ghostly figure appeared again. "You want truth, Seeker? Then know it." It raised its hand. Ethan's vision turned white. He saw flashes, blood rituals, sacrifices of entire villages to keep the jungle alive. Children offered to spirits that demanded silence. The ancients hadn't worshipped gods. They had imprisoned them. This temple wasn't a sanctuary. It was a prison. The gem was the key. By taking it, Ethan had begun unlocking the door. When he awoke, he was lying beside the altar again. Lila and Ravi found him moments later. He told them what he saw. Lila paled. "We didn't find a temple. We found a cage." Suddenly the room shook. Cracks split the floor. A fissure opened in the wall, revealing a tunnel lit by green flame. At the end stood a massive door sealed with thousands of bones. Behind it, something moved. "We have to seal it again," Ethan said. "Put the gem back." But when he reached for it, the gem resisted, pulling against him like a magnet repelling his touch. It had tasted freedom. It didn't want to go back. Ravi shouted, "Use blood." Ethan understood. Sacrifice. The temple required a price. Without hesitation, he sliced his palm and let the blood drip onto the altar. The gem glowed violently. The statues began to cry black tears. The shadows screamed. Ethan pushed the gem into the pedestal. The temple roared as the door behind them sealed shut again. The voices faded. The figures vanished. The cold lifted. But not all was undone. As they emerged from the temple, the jungle had changed. Trees bent away from them. Animals watched in silence. The air buzzed with tension. Ethan looked down at his hands. Veins pulsed green beneath the skin. The temple had taken something, and given something in return. Lila and Ravi were silent as they packed their gear. No one spoke of Kyle. They left his flashlight on the steps of the temple, a silent marker of his last stand. Back in civilization, Ethan filed his report. He spoke of geological anomalies, seismic activity, and an unstable ruin not worth exploring further. The government declared the area restricted. No one would return. But at night, Ethan heard whispers. He dreamed of smoke and bone. The jungle had marked him. And deep beneath the earth, the spirits waited. Not dead, not sleeping, just watching.